Hello, Multi-Purpose Pete here, and today I'm going to be going through a roll of wheat cents looking for errors and varieties, and I will talk about them and show you some of my tips and techniques for sorting through coins quickly. So here, we'll just go ahead and start her up. Take a look at what we got. Oh, hi there, Aspen Kitty. Yeah? Yeah. You can come cuddle with me while I sort coins. That is okay. Yeah. All right. Sorry about the interruption. Just my cute kitty cat. All right. First thing I do when I'm sorting through for looking for errors and varieties is I will sort the coins by date and mint mark. So we'll start by looking at this one here. It looks like we've got a 1948. So we'll just put that down there. And we'll just keep on looking. 45. And I will sort these coins by year first, and then usually by mint mark. Sometimes I'll do both at the same time. It just kind of depends on the number of coins I'm working with. 51, and I'll lay them out in an order. 1930. There's multiple ways you can lay out orders. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and do it by decades. So I'm going to set up some rows here like this, and then I'm just going to keep looking through and filling in as we get more pennies, and we'll see what we end up with. I try to line them up by the year. Oh, that's a 48. That should be at this row, and then we'll just go from there. Let's see here. 57, 36. Now these coins I picked up at my local coin shop. I was able to buy 10 rolls worth, and I ended up paying about 6 cents a penny for them, which is pretty normal. If you can get them cheaper, then by all means do, but expect to pay at least 6 or 7 cents a unit. Sometimes if you can get them for 5 or 4, you're doing really good, but most of the time you're going to be looking at probably about 6 cents a piece. So, but you never know what you're going to find, and there could be some really fun stuff in here. So we'll just keep looking, get these all sorted out by date, which is not the most exciting part, but it'll help with the next step in the process, because you got to know what errors to look for, and if you don't know what you're looking for, then you're going to end up wasting your time looking at the wrong things or getting stuck on something that isn't anything, and that's not a good way to find the fun coins, as it were. So let's see here. 42, 57. Now some years are going to have errors. Most years do, but not every single one. Some increase the value of the coin a lot, others not so much. Most of the errors we're likely to find will probably only add a few dollars to the value of the coin, and that's okay. The odds of finding one and striking it rich are really, really slim, but the possibility is still always there. And you know, it's like buying a lotto ticket. If you can't win if you don't buy, but at the same time, the nice thing about these sorts of coins, or any coin roll hunting actually, is that at the end of the day, even if you haven't, quote, won anything, you still have money sitting in front of you. And as long as you didn't pay too much for it, or you can at least resell it for what you paid for it, then, you know, other than the time you've spent looking through them, it hasn't really cost you much. And so that makes it can make it an inexpensive hobby if you've got lots of time on your hands and maybe not a lot of money. Certainly it can be a fun way to have some entertainment for an evening. You know, just go through a few rolls, and you know, and there's nothing wrong with searching modern rolls. You're not as likely to find as many wheat cents in them, but you're still gonna see them here and there. You know, maybe on average about one every, probably $10–20 worth, maybe a little more. Sometimes they pop up a little more frequently. It depends on if somebody's dumped a bunch because they, ran them through the Coinstar and then they got repackaged up and then sent back out to the banks. And, stuff like that does happen. Sometimes you can, some really weird stuff will get into the systems that way, but usually you just find pretty normal stuff. But that being said, there are errors and varieties available for almost any year of coin, and even the modern stuff, even stuff from this year. You can definitely look at basically anything and error and hunt for errors. But it helps if you know what you're looking for, because if you don't, then like I said, you're going to waste your time. Now, to know what you're looking for, I recommend doing research. You can use the internet. You can use your local library. There are many options. If you're using the internet, there are several sites that I would recommend for you to look at when you're looking for to learn about this stuff. Some of these sites are varietyvista.com, coppercoins.com, as well as there's a error reference, I believe it's called. It goes into details on how errors are created and what has to happen for a type of error to even occur at the mint. Because we'll run across all sorts of stuff on these coins possibly. Some of it will have happened to these coins after the fact as opposed to before the fact. So we got to make sure that we know what we're looking for, or else we're going to just be spinning our wheels. And then, when we think we find something, we'll take it to somebody else and they'll be like, oh no, that's just, somebody put that coin on the ground and stomped on it, or something else happened to it, like got caught in a washing machine, or Now that said, there are some coins that can look pretty wild that came from the mint that way. So just because it looks super beat up doesn't necessarily mean that it isn't an error or variety. But you got to know the difference, because otherwise you may just be holding on to a beat up penny or nickel or whatever type coin you're looking at, and it's it can be tough to look for to get what you're after, or even what you're if you're trying to find a coin to make some money. You're gonna have to do it with stuff that actually is the people want, and people don't tend to want just coins that have been just damaged. Oh, looks like this one might have something going on with it. We'll check it out when we looks like it might have a lamination error or something going on, but we'll take a closer look with some of the other tools here. One of the things I'd recommend that you get if you're going to be looking for errors and varieties is what is called a jeweler's loop or a coin loop. They look like this. They're really easy to use, and they're very helpful for magnifying small details so that you can see your coin that much better when you're going to look for errors and varieties. So let me get this guy put back into the pile here for now. We'll just remember that he's a 48. Okay, now that I've got my coins sorted by year, I will start with the oldest ones, and I'll take a look at their, see what I have for mint marks. In this case, I've got, looks like we start with the 36s. Actually, that might be a 35. Let me take the loop to it, because I can't even see, due to some damage, what it is. And that's actually a 5. Okay, so that's a 35. And that's part of why the loop can be handy, is because sometimes coins can be a little hard to tell what they are. Now, I have a list that I work from for key dates and a bunch of errors, and at some point I may make that list available, but it's been collated over the course of many months to allow for just through research of looking for known errors and things that are generally valuable. So it's a kind of a larger hit list. Now that said, I will also now use some other websites, in this case Variety Vista, and possibly coppercoins.com. to check to see if there's any types of errors I should be looking for this date, because I can look at the coin, and because I know what I'm looking for, I can, if I see something that I think is off, then I can, be reasonably certain I might have found something. But if you don't know what you're looking for, or you're unsure, which is quite all right, it doesn't hurt to look to check to see what sort of errors could be possible as far as what's known, because at this point you're more likely to find something known than unknown. So, looking at this guy here, he's a 35. Looks like there are some DDOs, which stands for double die obverse, and then looks like there are some double die reverses. Checking, so I'm going to take a look. And the great thing about Variety Vista is they have pictures, so you can actually know what you're looking for. The details can be pretty subtle for a lot of these, so you have to know what you're know what you're looking for and know how to look at it. And in this case, it doesn't look like this one's got anything going on with it, and that's okay. So then I will just set him aside for now. Still an okay little 35. Looks like he might have some corrosion or something going on. We'll go into the 36Ds now. Now, the fun thing about the D mint marks and the S mint marks is because you can also search for what are called repunched mint marks. And what that'll look like is basically two copies of the same mint mark kind of over each other, but offset slightly. And they can be in all sorts of different positions. So, you're going to have to take a loop to it. You're going to have to look at it. You're going to have to do some checking on years just to see if it's a variety that tends to have repunched mint marks or not, because especially when you start out, you're more likely to find something that's known than something that's unknown. Now, that being said, people do discover stuff all the time, so it's not like it's impossible to find something new looking through even old coins. But that being said, it's it's just one of those deals where you just kind of have to keep looking, and if you see something that looks odd, but you're not sure, set it aside, and then keep looking, keep doing your thing, and as you learn more, go back and look at the coin again, and then you might notice something more, or understand it a little better, and then you may see, then you might be like, oh hey, I do have something, or nope, I didn't have something, and that's okay. But there's all sorts of varieties, and if we get through all of these coins and I really don't find any errors, I do have something I can show you guys that's for sure, absolutely no questions asked, you can see it with your plain, basically with your plain eyes, sort of error that will at least show you something that is out there. And this particular coin I'll show you is going to be something you can literally still find in pocket change today, or in coin rolls that you get from the bank or from anywhere else if they're just random mixed coins. And it's pretty neat. It's a lot of fun. It's one that a buddy of mine let me borrow. For the video, and then of course he'll be getting it back. But still, it's a beautiful example, and it'll be fun to see, and I'll be showing that to you here soon after I get through looking at these. Now, I also have a coin microscope just in case I find something with the loop that I think might be something that's going on. In this case, this coin's just really filthy. Something got into this, some sort of stickiness or whatever, so I'm going to set him aside so he doesn't make a mess of the other coins here. This guy still has a little bit of his mint luster left, but he's got some other, looks like dings and damages. You can see the scrape marks on him, so he's a little bit beat up. But these coins have been around for, in some cases, this one 80 years. So you're gonna be a little rough around the edges after 80 years. That's okay. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I think we may have found something. Now, show it to you here. It looks like it's a 1942S, which it is. And so I'm going to go put this guy under my coin microscope here. And we're going to take a closer look, because I think I saw what looked like an S over an S. I'm going to focus here. Well, it looks like it could be, but to be sure, I'm going to go now go look this up and see if I can find a match for it. 1942. Go over to my RPMs here on varietyvista.com. Go to the 1942S's RPMs for Lincoln cents, and then I'll take a look at the pictures that they have and see if any of them look similar to what I think I might have here. And it doesn't look like it so far, at least not specifically. Although, let's see here. Okay, it's got the blah BS with the point, which is what normal for that mint mark here. Yeah, sometimes you think you found something you may not have, and this might be one of those cases. No, it looks like it could be. I'm going to set him aside, and we'll do some more looking at him harder later. Let's continue on, because if you get stuck on just one coin for too long, then you end up, not getting through stuff pretty quickly, and that's not the goal here. So, all right, that guy looks okay. All right, and to 45. All right. And we go on to 46s. Nothing too there. Okay, yeah, we're almost up to that 48 that looked like it had something going on again. So look at there now. That's an S. That's a D. That's an S. Okay, look at the 47 here. And nope, doesn't look like he's got anything going on. Well, let's check the D's. These are I always enjoy looking at the mint marks, because sometimes that's where there's some excitement. Not always, nothing on that one. Alright, let's check these guys here. It looks like pretty normal S. And always remember to flip your coins over and look at the back too, because if you just look at the front, you may miss something important, especially on like the coin I'll be showing you here and once we get through this. So, oh, yep, here it is again. Okay, yeah. What this particular coin has, this is what is called a, let's see if we can get a good focus on it. Get it in here. Okay, he doesn't want to show, let's see if we can catch it in light. From the 4 to basically the rim, there's this what looks like a weird little line, and it's what's known as looks like it's a lamination error, although it could also just be a scratch. In this case, I think it actually is a scratch. So this coin's just a little beat up, and that's that sometimes happens. You mistake an error for something that isn't an error in this case, and that's okay. At some point I'll show you a coin that actually does have a lamination error, because those are fun, and they're definitely interesting to see. All right, let's take a look at these other 248s here. Okay, that looks like it's just some damage. These coins have seen some rough and tumble times. Kicking around for 40, 50, 60, 70 years. All right, 1950 S&D. Getting into stuff that could be a little more exciting. It looks like, I would say that there's an RPM possibly on the S, in the sense of there are RPMs to be found, but there are a lot of dates where RPMs are to be found. And a lot of them don't add a ton of extra value to the coin, but they're still fun to find. And I know that we'll, at some point we'll find one. I've found a few in my looking already, not through this batch of coins, but through other batches. Now these coins were, like I said, purchased from the coin shop, and I think anything prior to 35 basically has been sorted out. So, you know, I'm not going to be finding any key dates, and that's okay. I knew that when I bought them, so I asked the coin dealer about it, and he disclosed that, which is, you know, is very appropriate and is a good thing, you know, that he's honest and, you know, willing to tell you what's up. And then other than that, they hadn't hunted through them for errors and varieties or anything themselves yet. It was something they'd do when they had the time, if they had the time. But, you know, when you're running a coin shop, you don't always have time to do this sort of stuff where you're just, you know, looking through these coins for some errors or varieties. But we're getting almost wrapped up here. So, let's see what we got here. 56. 54. Oh, it looks like I didn't get them stacked quite right, but that's okay. Because now, if your eyes aren't real good, or you know, want to take the little extra bit of time, you know, you can use a coin microscope and just kind of run these all under it at a, you know, at like a 10x or a 20x magnification, and you know, look for stuff that way, which, you know, depending on some dexterity and other things, might be easier for you. And if that's the case, that's nothing wrong with that. Just got to keep in mind that if you're starting out, especially with just the straight coin microscope, you may run into things that look like errors that are not. You know, because you end up looking kind of too much at the trees and not at the forest, and so you're like, you see something weird going on in one place, but you're you know, it's not really what you think it is, or it's just it's really nothing because you can't see it if it's not, you know, magnified. Basically, if you can't see it under 10x magnification, you're probably looking too close. If you can see it at 10x or even a little less, then you probably actually have something more, quote, you know, real in that sense. All right, double die versus 1957D. I think I may have found something else, but I've got to check because looks like stuff in Liberty. There's a ghost on the 9. Okay, let's take a looky here. Nope. Okay, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But you know, like I said, you gotta look to know, and till you look, you don't know. And there's so many different varieties of errors that can pop up here. I think when I was working through these, pulling this, counting them out, I thought I saw something else on one of the dates. Let's see if we can find it here. Oh, here it is. Here we go. We got an actual error of some sort, at least. In 1957, you can see that the 5 has been filled in. That is basically a die chip, where as the die was being used, a piece of metal right on the date there broke out for whatever reason, and you know, maybe because there was a foreign object in there or whatever, and so then after that it made the 5s with the filled in top there like that. So it's called a filled 5. You know, you can also see filled 9s and 6s and things like that. This doesn't really add too much of a premium, but it's still a fun little error to find. It's also similar to what's sometimes called the BIE error on wheat cents, where in the Liberty over here, get it to focus on the left-hand side there, between the B and the E, there'll be a die chip that'll make it look kind of like there's an I there, so you know there's an extra letter when there really isn't. but you know, it's a fun little error. Okay, well, we've gone through all these, this 50 cents, and looks like I found, you know, this filled die here, and then a possible S over S repunched mint mark, but I'm going to have to do some more serious looking at it. So now, as promised, let's correct the camera there. As promised, I'll show you a penny. This one's not a wheat penny, but this one has a clear error on it. Now, this is the obverse. It's a 1983 penny. This is one was found in change from a roll from the bank, or from a bag from the bank, either way. And it is the 1983 double die reverse. And if you look down in the 1 cent, you'll see that it has got basically 2 imprints of the word cent and one there, overlapping each other. It's subtle, but let's see if we can get it into focus on close, catch the light on it. You know, working with the camera can be a little difficult sometimes, especially when they're in holders. But so there's that. And then just for some extra fun, since we've been looking at brown cents for the last bit, I will show you a non-brown one, and then we will say goodbye for the day. So here, this is a 1940 Lincoln wheat cent. It's graded as MS66 red, which stands for Mint State 66. So the scale that these are rated on goes up to 70. So this one's not perfect, but it's really nice. And yeah, so this is what they look like when they're basically brand new. But that's okay, you know. You can run across these two. These are not likely to be found in change, though. You'll have to buy like specifically rolls of these. Anyways, thank you for joining me, and I will be making more of these videos as I go through the next $9.50 worth of these coins, looking for errors and varieties. Thanks for joining me, and have a great day.